everyone. This is Mikedot here with another episode of the podcast. Today, I'm here with Afromania. How are you doing today, my brother?
I'm all right.
Are you sure?
Nah, I'm all right because, okay, I was annoyed because Mike Dot decided to bring up an annoying topic about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight that's going to happen in July, and I just went on this angry rant right now how boxing's been desecrated by bullshit like this right now. And yeah, I'm not going to even go into a rant like that now, but I'm heated from that conversation we just had like a couple of minutes ago before we started this fucking podcast right now. So I'm not going to even hold up to that right now, but yeah, whatever. Start the podcast, man.
I'm sorry I brought that up. I was just mentioning that I wanted to see Jake Paul get knocked out by Mike Tyson, and then Afromania, who is obviously very more big into sports than I am, went on that huge rant and just it pissed him off. I'm sorry. And I wanted to say that I'm feeling pretty good right now, but I can't even say that either because even before this podcast, I had to deal with car issues and some more expenses that I have to deal with. So basically, I'm just saying we're both kind of pissed off right now. That should translate into a very good podcast episode, okay? So, anyway, we did want some stuff to talk about regarding Blizzcon getting canceled this year. There is no Blizzcon for 2024, which is big news for a lot of people. It's unexpected for some people and expected towards others. We also wanted to talk about another topic that was actually last week regarding the FTC banning non-compete clauses in video gaming, and a lot of people saying this is a very good thing for the gaming industry. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? No? So we could just focus on these two topics for today. Okay, So I guess starting with the more recent one, talking about BlizzCon. It's been announced on a few days ago that BlizzCon 2024 is being completely canceled. BlizzCon is being canceled, and it's just saying okay, we're gonna try to recuperate and try to come back next year. This is a situation that very much echoes the situation that happened with the E3 and the ESA canceling their conference and their convention multiple times over because I think it's pretty obvious that the attendance wasn't going to be very good. The attendance for ever since that pandemic that happened for E3, basically they were just in the hole and basically just having to deal with so many financial issues. E3 was losing so much money over the years, and just with the pandemic basically killed them. This is a much different, little different situation with BlizzCon because a little known person named Mark Kern, actually not a little known person, a big known person named Mark Kern, who was a former head for Blizzard, who worked on World of Warcraft, and is right now he's actually spearheading the whole Stellar Blade petition that's going on right now. He also mentioned on Twitter that BlizzCon has been losing money for years now. So when he said that, it's not much of a surprise that that BlizzCon is just canceling and shutting its doors. And if it's in this case, I have a lot of people think that next year it's probably not gonna come back either, because it's just it's just not doing well. And the whole situation, the whole thing about BlizzCon is basically just a convention to just show ads. Basically to just show upcoming games, have a few tournaments, and just have some cosplay and get-togethers and whatnot. And basically that's all BlizzCon was. Basically people were spending a lot of money just to see ads. And it's kind of crazy now that Activzion Blizzard hasn't been doing very well over the past few years. Their games have been on a pretty sharp decline, and it's just not the games are just not doing well, and the games are just not as fun as they used to be. And when all that is on the decline, it basically translates back to BlizzCon getting shut down, because the whole illusion of BlizzCon being this fun a fun like get together, a fun like showcase for Blizzard gaming is basically broken, and now people are just coming to the realization that BlizzCon is just a showcase of ads and like upcoming games, and nobody wants to pay for that anymore, man. It's kind of a sore situation when you really think about it. So that's basically my thoughts on the whole situation. What are yours? I mean, you have played Blizzard games in the past, so
yeah,
do you
but
see
I really haven't watched BlizzCon, so I never really had a translation to it. I figured some of it can be done with the Overwatch 2 backlash in terms of how that product has been handled. But yeah, the pandemic really kind of changed, like you said, it changed a lot of perspective up and how these events are run.
Yeah,
I honestly think it also showed the world that we don't need to spend millions and millions on dollars just to get these stuff out. Like you said, it's just a lot of advertisement, while we can just simply do a live direct that saves money and most importantly controls the message. We have a better control of what it's a controlled area, and we know what we want to be able to sell, and we know what we want to be able to show to our customers and audience. And that's just something that's more and more being shown to a lot of these companies that want to save money, may want to make the most amount of money, but want to put the very little bit of effort, and to kind of pull away from the big whole convention scene where you're just making your own convention. Maybe doesn't sound like the best way to go. That being said, another convention that I believe is happening around the same time, TennoCon. How has that been doing?
TennoCon? Oh, that's been doing pretty good. I think they've been pretty consistent. Even during like the pandemic, I believe it was completely online. Just like with BlizzCon, it was also completely during the pandemic. They had an online only, and I don't think the attendance for that was actually like all that too great. From what I remember, I have to look into that again, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, TennoCon with Warframe is still doing good. They're still revealing stuff, and there's going to be another reveal later during the summer. I forget when TennoCon is. I think I'm not sure if it's July or August. I completely forgot. It's been so long since I played Warframe, so I don't remember a lot of these things. I mean, I really would love to get back into Warframe, but every time I try to get back into that game, there's just so much new stuff that I have to contend with, and it's just so overwhelming that I just end up quitting again.
Yeah.
They really need to do something about like introducing old players into that game, because it is so overwhelming to try to play that. Yeah. But TennoCon is doing fine. BlizzCon,
and the only reason why I say that, in terms of is there other conventions that just have a other than like your San Diego Comic Cons and your New York ones and PAX and all the other stuff? I'm just are there other kind of conventions that are just like focused?
Minecon for Minecraft.
How's that been?
That's doing well. That's doing pretty well as well.
And that's why I'm asking if there are other forms of conventions that just focus on just the specific title. It's not a mix of other games involved with it. But no, with BlizzCon kind of going through that, and you also did worry about what's the reshuffling between Activzion Blizzard being bought out by Microsoft, and how that was going to handle, and how everything was going to get reshuffled or repurposed. So, like you said, maybe, and were they another thing? Were they canceled last year as well? I thought they were canceled last year as well.
Which con?
BlizzCon.
BlizzCon? What?
I thought it was canceled last year.
No, I don't think so. No. No, it happened.
Oh, it did.
It happened.
Okay.
Yeah. It was. I think I forget what happened during that.
So could it really just be one of the reasons why it got canceled? Could it be just due to the merger?
No. I definitely. It's definitely not the merger. It's again Mark.
The acquisition, the bought out.
Nah, from Microsoft. Nah. I think it has little to do with Microsoft. In fact, wasn't there even an announcement? In fact, just look at. Oh, jeez. Sorry, a little bit loud. Yeah. It wasn't even. There's a news place that says like the cancellation was not because of Microsoft.
Okay. So I just wanted to find out on that.
Very much so. Yeah, but again, Mark.
So it's just like ballooning costs.
It's ballooning costs, lack of interest, and it's just like a lack of faith in the Blizzard brand.
Well, yeah, like I said, the issues with Overwatch 2 was a problem too. That caused a lot of big issues. Then Diablo was another one too, for a little bit. And then you also think about the higher ups that are in the Blizzard right now, and the faith of those people right now that are handling the games. There really does feel like there's a trust that's been kind of broken between the gamer and the developers right now, which was something that Blizzard was so good at. That's why like everybody championed Blizzard when they did a BlizzCon like that, because it was that one-to-one between actors and game developers and artists and producers and game directors and fans. There was that really tight community where it was warranted, the same way how TennoCon is still going on, that you still have that community, that connection, that why TennoCon is still running strong. So yeah, without that, that's not good. It does hurt BlizzCon at the moment too. Can they rebuild trust back into most of the fan base? We'll wait and see. You shake your head no, that's totally fine. I'll sit there, let's wait and see. Let's give them a shot right now to see if they can remend fendants and try to figure a way that they can bend this back again, because again, I think it is sad to see Blizzcon get shut down, because it really was one of those strong gaming conventions where there was so much fandom and so much passion that was put to it.
Very much so, but again, like the illusion of a strong community has been broken by this company, and it's just like now it's just a showcase for ads, and it's sad. And even before like any of this like COVID stuff, there was just a long string of gaffes and controversies that you could just timeline on it. Like for instance, if anyone remembers the whole situation with World of Warcraft Classic, if you remember that situation where somebody went on stage and asked yo, can you modern World of Warcraft is kind of iffy. Could you make a classic World of Warcraft server? And then it's got people on staff saying no. You think you want that, but you don't want that, and it's just like that upset people. And then you got the whole.
I mean, he may not be wrong though.
I mean, but then I think it just like a year, 2 years later, they eventually gave them World of Warcraft Classic. So it's just kind of, again, egg on their face for just saying that at all. They should have just kept it neutral.
It was a poor PR move. They should have been like, hey, maybe we'll consider it, or you don't want to be like, you don't know what the gamers want.
Exactly.
Even though, like I said, there are times where sometimes customers don't know what they want. But yeah, it was just a bad PR mode. I could totally see that aggravating the community. Yeah. And
then after that, you got the whole situation with Diablo Immortal. You're presenting a game that's known as a PC RPG as a mobile game to a crowd of people who play PC games, and then you got the guy saying
Adding gotcha elements to it.
And gotcha elements. And you got people saying, "Is this an out of season April Fool's joke?" And it's like, do you guys not have phones? You remember that? Everybody remembers that. And then you got the whole even more serious situation with the whole Hearthstone game, their TCG, and the whole controversy about the player Blitzcon and him getting barred from his tournament prize winnings because of him going on and making a statement about freeing Hong Kong, and them getting that guy's prize money pulled, and then the two announcers getting like barred from the live stream because they didn't do anything about it. And they had another worst PR response that was at BlizzCon that basically give them a vague like response to it that doesn't actually address everyone's concern about it. And it's just like, what is this company doing?
And wasn't there like sexual allegations too that also happened, and that with that on top of that, and all the issues that were happening behind the scenes of the company, and how a lot of sexual abuse allegations
very much
by the top ends, because we always need a good old sexual allegation suit pressed on a big major company on top of everything else that's been happening, right?
Yep, the good old Cosby suite. We all know about that. And stolen breast milk.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, it is gross.
Yeah, but it just seems like it's been one bad controversy on top of another.
Yeah,
all led by a good old Bobby Kotick, who seems to escape unscathed.
Well, yeah,
pretty much all of that. He's not there anymore. But you know what? The guy left was probably a nice severance package, and that doesn't have to deal with any of this nonsense that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Well, other divisions in Blizzard are either being closed, people are being let go, and talent just says, "Bleep this, I'm out." It's Blizzard is a sad shell of itself. So, what's the point of trying to celebrate that?
Exactly. It's just like so much good talent just left that company. It's just a shell of its former self. So many former like veterans of that company speaking out saying, "Yeah, this company's freaking dead." Like, don't even bother with it. It's just like they're just going to keep trying to milk nostalgia, and it's just like Activision Blizzard is just a shell of its former self, and it's just like I don't see this company like coming back from the brink unless they completely like get like broken down and just get bought out, and the IP just goes off to people who actually care.
Here's the thing: has there ever been a company that has been bought out by a bigger conglomerate ever like survive and like keep that same passion when they were independent? Because I just feel like that doesn't there's not one example out there that that plan has worked, even by just luck. Because it just seems like once these companies that decide to go the way of being bought out by something bigger, like Blizzard was probably its own self until Activision came in. Well, it wasn't Activision, it was Vendetti. I remember it was Vendetti, the French company, the conglomerate that bought Activision and decided to merge them together, is where the beginning problems of everything started. But again, like a company like Blizzard, and I understand it because the more funding you can get, that means the more projects you can work. It's probably not as easy for a self-run company to try to keep making out games, because Blizzard was never that company. They only made like 2 or 3 games a year pretty much, and that was pretty much it. So, and I don't know how much money that can be generated by just working on the same 3 games after a certain point, and how much money you can gain and how much growth you can have trying to do it yourself. Another example I think about, like when Twitch was in its infant stage, and then they decided to get bought out by Amazon right now in the same situation, in the hopes of growth and be able to build Twitch faster and be able to get more advanced with Twitch. Now Twitch as it is probably not as good when it first started because of the buyout. So again, I was just thinking, is there any company like that out there where, being bought out by a bigger conglomerate always works out, but I guess that's never the case when you're no longer the boss and you end up becoming an employee to somebody else that has bigger pockets than you.
Very much so. Yeah, it's sad state of affairs, but that's just how business goes these days. You always gotta bow to the person who pays your checks, and it's just like a lot of these once great game companies. Once they lose that freedom, it's just like the soul just slowly gets sucked out of them and just rarely just get out there unscathed. It's a sad state of affairs, but yeah. It's just as it stands, like BlizzCon, I honestly don't see it coming back next year. They say they're planning for 2025, but if E3 sets any precedent, yeah, I don't think I don't see. I don't know.
Well, with E3 was a non-profit, quote unquote organization, so. With E3, I totally can understand that because now, you had other conventions that could do that better now. You didn't really, unfortunately, need an all game convention anymore. And again, the video games and the companies that you needed, like I said, realized that we don't need to spend millions of dollars trying to put at a presentation where they don't really, let's be honest, they don't get paid for it. They don't make any money off of it. It's just them putting their stuff out. Again, we can make a live direct to save so much money, control our own content, and be on with that. Blizzard, like I said, Blizzard is a little bit of a different case right now because it's still like their games being projected to their fans, but again, they have a lot of work to do in trying to rebuild that fan trust, which has been BS throughout all the way. And every time they feel like they had an opportunity to fix problems, they keep on stumbling. It's like one step forward and 5 steps back, and every move they've made so far right now with all their products and titles.
Yeah, very much so. It's a shame. I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see at this point, but yeah, sadly, I don't see it coming back next year, but we'll have to wait and see. And moving on to our other topic that we want to talk about today, game developers are celebrating the fact that the FTC has basically decided to put a ban on non-compete clauses in the business space. It's usually something that happens when it comes to US companies basically barring employees from working with other companies or being stuck with one company after they've either signed a contract saying that you have to work for us for a set number of time and you can't either move over to a competing company or start your own competing business. But yeah, FTC finally did this, and they basically put a ban on those non-compete clauses, and so many game developers are celebrating and saying that this is going to be huge for the gaming industry, because now a lot of companies that used to work for all these big names can now start working on indie games. And yeah, that's something that I'm really excited for, because there is a lot of talent that just basically got kicked to the wayside because of a lot of the red tape when it comes to a lot of US businesses. So now them being free to just work on what they want and create what they want, it is a pretty big thing. Some of the developers basically, this person, the art director, Zaria Varia, basically said yeah, getting rid of that is great news, and saying and then you also got this indie studio, Flipfly co-founder Aaron San Filipino. It's
Philadelphia.
Just I can't say Aaron San. I'm just gonna say there's gonna be so many new indie games from AAA devs now because of the rule change, and it's pretty cool to hear. Yeah, I'm excited for this big change because like I said, there is a lot of talent that's being lost right now due to a lot too much red tape in the whole U.S. business world. And I'm really hoping that a lot of these developers from AAA companies like Activision Blizzard will be able to start working on their own games. Personally, I would love to see like Jeff Kaplan, the guy who worked on early WoW as well as the lead director who worked on Overwatch 1, getting to work on something cool and use his expertise to train a bunch of new recruits to make a game that Activision Blizzard certainly wouldn't make in this day and age, and to see more like truly creative projects that are made on passion and rather than just made solely just for money. And it's something that the industry really needs right now. Like what do you think?
No, I totally agree with you on that sentiment. I think the fact that non-compete clauses are now being lifted in the world of the gaming industry, like you said, it's very big. It allows for the developers that were forced to sit out for 90, for a month, up to maybe 90, 120 days of not being able to do anything in the industry that they loved and they trained for such a long period of time. And the fact that, think about that too, you decided to not let them work, you barred them from working in this country, in the craft that they spent so much time building. They went to school. So you think about that, you stop people from working when they have to take care of themselves, where they got to feed themselves, they got to take care of their families, they have a mortgage to pay. That's a good. I think that's a good thing that this country made to do that. And just like you said, going back to the industry right now, it's going to allow all these talented people to kind of now come together, and like you said, be able to work on projects they've been dreaming of in the back of their head, but they couldn't do it because they've been working at these, AAA companies with such bad business practices. They get to be free of that, and most importantly, by hopefully open up brand new studios, it creates competition again, and competition's always good in the space for everybody.
Yeah, and that's a big thing you mentioned there, competition. That's a big thing that's lacking in the industry right now, is that a lot of these big time companies don't really focus on competition. They believe in this is like, what's the word I'm looking for? They basically just like all play on the same tune, and they basically try to follow the same kind of.
It's become very monopoly run. We just want to be able to hog so much of the space right now.
Yeah, a lot of these games feel like they're being made solely on the same exact assembly line, despite the fact that they're from different companies, like games having the same like systems, open world Ubisoft style. And then you got games that you have Fortnite battle passes, and then games like EA day one DLC season passes. They all like so samey and they're just like not even.
They're all copying off each other and try to make as much money as they possibly can in a tough, economic world. Yeah. Everybody's kind of biting off each other, but again, because of that, it's not allowed enough creativity for, like you said, smaller or even to experiment with different types of games. Now, like you said, with that non-compete clause finally removed, that's going to allow a lot of these developers that have been forced to sit on the sides unfairly to get back into the game and hopefully shake shit up.
Yeah, exactly.
Things got to get shaked up for the sake of the industry, and it should be good for the industry, because now it needs to. If somebody makes a banger of a game, like you see in games like the Finals and Power World and all that stuff, if these cats that have been let go by these companies that were not allowed to do anything now come together to make a banger that rivals AAA stuff, that's going to force those guys to step up their game up or to change up their business practices to meet demand. or to be able to compete. And like I said, that's important right now. You need to be able to compete. It pushes innovation, it pushes creativity, it pushes better ways, hopefully even better ways to make these grand AAA games, but don't without spending too much of a buck.
Yeah, exactly. And overall, it just basically forces the market to be free again. Like, and that's just something that a lot of these big companies seem to have forgotten, that the free market is supposed to determine what succeeds and what fails, and not these investors and shareholders. Because at the end of the day, they're making these products for us. They are not making these products for them. They're making the products to earn to like, you know, make a return on the investment. But the end, we're the ones who consuming these products. So we're the ones who should be dictating what these big companies are naturally doing. But it's just, for some reason, they got it the other way around, and it's just so weird. So I'm just hoping that with this change and these developers being able to express themselves and make good games again for the sake of games being good again, it's a great thing. It's absolutely a great thing. It's absolutely something that everybody should be excited for. And I do hope as soon as this FTC like ban gets rolled out, I'm not exactly sure when it's coming out because it's not in effect right now, but when it does, it's going to be like field day.
It should be soon though, right? I thought somewhere in July it would start coming into effect. Like, it should be coming up soon.
Yeah,
I thought July. I thought it was, or even now.
Yeah, it's not now. It's definitely not now.
It's still kind of in the final. It's still kind of being worked on, but it's been announced. It got passed by like a 2-3 vote in Congress. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's great. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. Again, what I'm hoping for mostly is like old school Blizzard devs getting together and making something that could rival modern day Blizzard. But I mean, I would love them to just like make something that can beat against like Overwatch 2, Overwatch 1 really, because that's the one I played. I've never touched Overwatch 2, never will.
And also too, even, you know, like I said, it also allows people that have been just kind of the work be able to go to other companies too.
That too.
You know, I know. So, you know, people that were working at Activzion can comfortably go to other video game companies and go strictly back to work and start working again.
Exactly, because it just never made like sense to just like, because like the employee, the person, the developers, they're the ones who should have the right to be able to put their work out whatever company that they want, because as the company, you should be fighting for the employee. You should be doing everything you can to make their work there as comfortable and as free and as like, you know, like rewarding as possible, again, towards competition between other companies.
And most importantly, on top of that too, going back to the free market, it makes these companies have to compete for talent.
Exactly.
To try to keep good talent in your building. Because if a rival company, like, you know, if Sony wants your talent and they're willing to pay or put them in a better position in better spots and give them better perks, you better be able to match that. Exactly. Otherwise, you're in danger of losing good talent.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so weird how much the business world is just so flip-flopped from the earlier days where companies used to compete against each other rather than being so strangely buddy with each other. I mean, I want to go back to the days of the 90s. The 90s, or like also the 80s of gaming, the console wars. You remember the console wars? It was like Nintendo versus Sega. I mean, it's good that
Mike, we're the same age, dude. Yeah, of course I remember that.
I know. I'm just saying it for the audience. I'm just letting the audience know. Okay, like yeah. The days of like Nintendo versus Sega, like Sega does what Nintendo don't. Nintendo like showing off how cool their games are compared to those. And then you have the cats on the side, like no, screw these two, 3DO, F Nintendo and Sega. Those are for kids.
The Jaguar.
The Jaguar. I remember the Jaguar. I think it was an Atari commercial.
Yeah, Atari Jaguar.
Just saying like this. There was a commercial where like this shows like an NES and then a Genesis being dumped into like a wooden box, into the top of the box slams down, says toys on it. It's like, yeah, like play our gaming sim, because Nintendo and Sega, those are kids' toys, man. This is the real gaming shit right here.
Yeah,
like,
unfortunately, those real gaming systems cost a lot.
Yeah, the 3DOs was like super expensive.
Yeah, that was a Philips, right?
Yeah, it's like Philips. That was the
I thought that was the one that started the commercial, or was that the Atari Jaguar?
I don't know, because I don't really remember, because a lot of those other competitors really didn't.
Oh yeah, they disappeared in the 90s.
Yeah,
really quickly.
Yeah, it was just like, I mean, I also remember the Neo Geo back when they had their commercial and been saying like our system is beefy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like when their system, those are weenies, because unlike those customers, like our hardware is true arcade quality hardware. In fact, our games, our cartridges for our games are the same cartridges that you use for our system. Unfortunately, the Neo Geo was like $1,000.
That's what happened.
It just like, it was super expensive.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
and those cartridges probably cost like
$100. I think it was like $100 to $200 per cartridge.
Yeah, no
like,
one's paying that.
Yeah, so like, it sucks, but yeah, that stuff like that was just like really cool. And of course, they will also have like justifications for it. Like, yeah, of course it's expensive. Like, does a Lamborghini cost more than like a Ford? Like, yeah, you're paying for quality. And that's how they would justify that, but still it wasn't enough to actually get people on board. But still, competition was good, and it's just something that needs to come back to the industry right now.
I agree.
Very much so. Anyway, we don't have any other topics, so we're pretty much just gonna end it here. So what did you think about everything that we discussed here today? I mean, how do you feel about the non-compete clauses going away? How do you feel about BlizzCon 2024 getting canceled? Let us know what you think in the comment section. If you really like this video, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I am Mikedot here with Afromania, and we are saying peace.
Take care.